All right, man, 210 Boxing TV here with Bones Adams Gym. We're here with Trainer of the Year, Bob Santos, and Sebastian Juarez. All right, man, 6-0, 5 knockouts. You're going to fight February 8th. Bob, I want to ask you real quick, right? You got him under your tutelage now, got him on the team. How do you see him progressing, and how do you see him working?
He's doing great. He's been getting ready for this fight, obviously, with John the Candyman Easter. So he's doing great. John's very long, so when you can work with a rangy guy like that and develop ways to get on the inside to the mid-range with a real long guy, that's obviously going to make you better over time. But he's paying attention to detail. He's making the sacrifice coming from Brownsville, Texas, all the way out to Las Vegas to be with us, to train, to get better, to pay no stone unturned, to get ready, and so we're real thrilled about that.
Let's name the names that he's been getting to work with. John Easter, Elijah Garcia.
He's been in there with everybody. Brian Mendoza that we have, he gets in there with everybody. We got Jason Rosario. He gets better and better when you're around Banana. You're looking for Banana February 1st on Amazon Prime. David Morale, that's my other guy. Don't forget about him. Benavides, we're ready for you. But this guy's going to ascend and try to get himself to that level. And if he pays the price, puts in the work, puts in the time, he can get there.
Now, Sebastian, you get out of your comfort zone, right? You leave the 956, you leave Brownsville. What's the difference between Texas and being here in Vegas with the best fighters in the world?
I mean, I think the main thing, to be honest, is just the mindset. Being away from home, being around a lot of people that are out for the same the same end game, which is to be the best, be the world champion, multiple weight classes. We have, of course, I'm sparring world champions, former unified world champions, and it's a blessing to be able to have this opportunity and train with, of course, Bob Santos, Trainer of the Year, and it's just, it's amazing, and I'm very grateful, and I'm taking every day at a time, but I'm putting 110% every day.
A lot of people know your brother Omar Juarez from his fights on PBC. What is that like following his footsteps? And you being the co-main on this card coming up February 8th.
I mean, I've always said it is big shoes to fill, but I'm prepared. I prepared every day of me training every day of my life just to be great, and that's what I'm striving for. I'm striving to be great, not just the good, not just great, but the best. I want to be the best.
You're a decorated amateur. You were #1 USA boxing at middleweight. How many national titles did you have?
I had around 14, or 13, 14. I forgot exactly how many, but yeah, around there.
What's the transition? And then Bob, you can answer this as well. The transition from the amateur to the pros, because we've seen it, Bob. You got a badass amateur, all these national titles, and the pros, no power, doesn't work out. And then him being able to translate to the pros with a 6-0 with 5 knockouts record.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it is very different. Like how you said, there's a lot of decorated amateurs that are the best in amateurs, but they go to the pros and it's different. The shots started to hurt. Every punch counts, not even just to the head or the body, but to the arms, to the legs, everything. You got to be very careful, and you got to be very just aware, 110%. You can't sleep on no round, no person, no fighter, no matter the record. Anything can happen in that ring. So that's the very risky part.
What are your thoughts on that, Bob? The transition from amateur to the pros.
Unfortunately, a lot of times, physical attributes come into play, how a fighter matures. But one of the biggest things that I've seen over the years is when all you amateurs turning pro, yes, you can get there with the team you have, it's been done, but the road is much more difficult doing that. So, you can't buy experience, but you're going to pay for it one way or the other. So I always try to say, if you're a young kid out there, get yourself with a Robert Garcia. Get yourself with a Freddie Roach, because you can't buy experience. And a lot of times those guys can bring a huge difference maker to a career. And a lot of times at points in a career, it's the difference between you going here and you not making it. And it's decision making and experience. And I'd say that's a big part of why a lot of these guys don't make it.
What about the biggest thing, what I've learned now getting into boxing and what I see is the management. Louis DeCubis, Bob Santos, I mean,
hell, it's huge. Management's a big part of it, obviously. Coaching's a big part of it, and it all goes hand in hand. That's what I mean by experience. Get yourself, like I said, with a Robert Garcia, with a Freddie Roach, with a Ronnie Shields. the experience that those guys bring to the table. When you have a good quality trainer, world class, that's been there, done so many camps, they can make a lot of decisions. That's the difference between winning and losing. And of course, management. Management is a huge part of it too. Knowing when to step up in class, when to take those types of fights. So it all goes hand in hand. So that, like I would tell all these young fighters out there, make sure you surround yourself with good people and get yourself with a good team.
But look at Rolly. He got that fight with Ryan Garcia. And I know why he got that fight, because he got to manager Louis DeCubas, who knows how to get those big fights done.
Best in the business. Best in the business. Louis DeCubas Jr. is the best in the business. You know, I've worked with Louis for many, many years. I've been fortunate to work with him. And again, like you said, all these things come into play. And there's a reason why some guys ascend to the top and some guys don't, for the most part. And that's a big part of it. Some of it is physical. Some of it is mental. Most of it is the team that you have in play.
Bob, me and you message each other, we text each other a lot, right? One thing you pointed out to me about the Trainer of the Year 2024, they had the nominees. You were one of the nominees. One thing that I thought was very gracious of you, you told me, yo, I'm a nominee, but 100% Robert Garcia deserves it.
Oh no, I call it 100. When somebody deserves it, they've earned it. He deserved it. Robert's a great coach, and proof is in the pudding. He got the job done like nobody else did, and in my mind, he was the most deserving. And you know, you always got to be honest, because you know, you can lie to yourself, you can lie to the people, you can't lie to the good Lord. And so the best thing to do is always be honest, be forthright, and give credit where credit is due.
And you know what's crazy about Robert? He's so humble and modest. He thought he wasn't going to win. Can you believe that?
You know, I can believe that because of the type of guy he is. He's a very gracious guy, but you know, there's no doubt in my mind he was going to win it. He deserved it. He earned it, and I'm happy for him because as a coach, I know what we put into this. And when you get to that level, a lot of people don't realize, they think, oh, Robert Garcia is just fortunate. He just, you know, he's just who he knew. No. You don't stay at the top as long as we have by accident. Obviously, thank the good Lord Jesus Christ. I'm a big believer in that. But you have to work your tail off. The sacrifices that are made, most people don't understand what goes on behind the scenes and what it takes. And the old saying is, you know, for a lot of these young guys out there, you don't know what you don't know.
What 2-3 years down the line, where do you see Sebastian? What do you expect out of him? What are your expectations?
2-3 years down the line, I expect him to be right there in the top 10. I expect him to be in title contention. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be working with him because me as a coach, I never want to sell somebody a dream. You know, now, if I don't believe in you, I'm going to let you know. I'm not seeing it that way. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get it done. Maybe you can go out and prove me wrong. But in my mind, I don't want to sell a kid a dream where I don't think he can make it because I think it's not only wasting my time, it's wasting his time. It ain't fair to me, and it surely ain't fair to the person that's trying to put that time in to ascend to the top. So you always want to be honest in your assessments, and I'm not just going to work with anybody just to work with them. That's not how I get down.
Sebastian, right? And we keep it 100, right? Like you said, we don't lie, we don't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
If you weren't good, they wouldn't want you here. They're not gonna have you here just because you're Omar's brother. You got to be good. So what does that feel, having that backing, knowing that but at the same time you got to go through the fire. You got to spar the John Easters, the Brian Mendozas, and those guys can fucking crack.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I've been training so hard for an opportunity to be able to show out my skills, not just in the fight, but in the training camp. Show that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be at the top. And of course, I had my brother to show me. I was front row to so far his career and his journey in the beginning of his professional career, and I got a sneak peek of how it was going to be, and I just mentally prepared myself, physically, and emotionally prepared myself for what's to come. And I know I still got a long way to go, but I'm very prepared for that. And God willing, I'll be at the top in the next 2 or 3 years. Gonna be striving for greatness more than anything.
And then your brother Omar, a few wins on these local shows. You see him getting a big fight at 140.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what we're hoping for. We're trying to just get him to the top, and just like how I said, I like being here because we're surrounded by a bunch of young, hungry fighters that are all striving for
Candyman.
And that's what we need. And I've been sparring that guy right there, Candy. I've been sparring him right there. 15 rounds. And just again striving for greatness, being the best, boxer, person, and God-fearing man that I can be.
Let the fans know you catch you on social media.
I am Sebastian Juarez on Instagram, Sebastian Antonio Juarez on Facebook, and I am Sebastian Juarez on TikTok.
All right, and then you're the co-main event, February 8th, in Hidalgo, Texas, Pain Arena.
Pain Arena, yes sir. Very, very ready.
At Bob Santos Boxing. Let's go, baby.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.